Hi, I'm Mrs. Abner. I'm the school librarian at the Lincoln School. I am so excited because I get to share one of my favorite books of the year, Once Upon a Book, written by Grace Lynn and Kate Mesner. So, we are going to be focusing on interpretation today. We are looking carefully about how the illustrator takes the words and adds details to help add to the story. And what did the illustrator do to make this story special? This book came to be in kind of an unusual way. Grace Lynn was asked to do an illustration for Children's Book Week, and you'll notice her daughter is there as the model. She loved this illustration so much, and she tried to write some text or words, and she couldn't come up with a story. So she asked her writings group, and Kate Mesner, a nearby author in Vermont who has written lots of books, came up with the idea and was excited. So they began writing the story together. When Grace was ready to do all the other illustrations of the book, she was inspired by Alice in Wonderland, which is a very old book by Lewis Carroll. And she began thinking about the different adventures of Alice. So you will notice that the character is named Alice, and her dress is made from pages of a copy of Alice in Wonderland. You will also notice in every picture there is a bunny, and you will notice kind of how the images of the rabbit are integrated into the book. And rabbits or bunnies are an important part of Asian culture. Enjoy the story. Once Upon a Book. Turn the page and come in. This is the end paper. Notice this little girl, Alice, looking kind of bored. Looks like the weather is wet and yucky, and there's lots of waiting. Once Upon a Book. Alice was tired of heavy sweaters and thick socks and staying inside with nothing to do. I wish I were someplace that wasn't so frozen and gray, she grumbled to her mother. She began to stomp away, but something flapped nearby. It was the pages of a book. Curious, Alice began to read. Once upon a time, there was a girl, Alice read. She went to a place alive with colors where even the morning dew was warm. That sounds like our home, said the birds. Turn the page and come in. So she did. The air felt as if it came from an oven, the book said. The girl and the birds played among the flowers. But then the rains came down. I wish I were someplace that wasn't so steamy and drippy, Alice said. With the book over her head, Alice read. So the girl went to a place of sparkling sands where the sun would dry her. That sounds like our home, said the camel. Turn the page and come in. So she did. The sun blazed down and dried her hair as she rode on a camel through the desert. But then a sandstorm blew in and stung the girl's face. I wish I were someplace that wasn't so dusty and dry, then Alice read. So the girl went to a place of clear waters where the sea would refresh her. That sounds like our home, said the fish. Turn the page and come in. So she did. The gentle water soothed her as she swam with the fish throughout the coral reef. But the girl got tangled in seaweed. Was caught and confused. I wish I were someplace that wasn't so cramped and crowded. And then Alice read. So the girl went to a place of wide open blue where she would be boundless and free. That sounds like our home, said the clouds. Turn the page and come in. And so she did. The clouds billowed like the sails of a ship. The girl rode the wind through the sky. But the clouds darkened and the thunder roared. I wish I were someplace that wasn't so booming and loud. So the girl went to a place with no sounds at all, Alice read, where she could be quiet and calm. That sounds like my home, whispered the moon. Turn the page and come in. And so she did. The soundless stars twinkled and winked as she floated in the moon's glowing light. But the emptiness made the girl feel alone. I wish I were someplace that wasn't so lonely, Alice thought. So the girl went to a place of coziness and warmth, where the kitchen smelled of dumplings and her family was waiting with dinner. That sounds like my home, Alice said. Turn the page, her mother said, and come in. And so she did. And take a look in the moon and see what you notice. And I used many resources to help me with discussing this book. Thank you for your time, and I hope you enjoyed the story as much as I did.